Welcome back to 30 Days of Mindful Financial Practices with Dr. Wise Money. Today's day 7. Wow, it's been a week. Good job. Thank you for returning. Today we'll be talking about wants. Yesterday we talked about needs and our need to make a budget for our needs. And today we'll talk about wants. When's the last thing you bought something that you wanted but that you don't need? Does it happen on a weekly basis, monthly basis, or a daily basis, or multiple times a day? For me, I think I buy something I want on a daily or every other day basis. We're really blessed to have so much resources. Really, most American family of 4 or 5 live on $50,000 a year. So as medical residents making $50,000 a year with a family, even as the only breadwinner, we shouldn't complain. At the same time, though, we do have this ginormous debt that's $300,000, $400,000 at 7%. So if we were actively paying down or aggressively at least trying to keep the interest, accrued interest, under control, as it is a couple $1,000s a month of interest accrued at 7%. If we didn't refinance to a lower rate, if we didn't sign on with repay, which gives an interest subsidy. So if we are actively putting some money towards that to gain guaranteed return, whereas putting money in the stock market, although overall you can bank on pretty much having 8% annualized return over the long haul, it's not like paying down debt, because paying down debt such as student loans, the return that you get is instantaneous and is guaranteed. So our budget might feel a little tight if we're being really aggressive with paying down debt, or very aggressive with saving money for the future, such as in retirement or college funds. But if we're not doing any of that and the budget still feels tight, it's time for reflection. It's time to decide if an item on our need list is actually truly a need, or is it just a want. And I'm not telling you to get rid of the things that make you happy. I wanted you to just ask a question of, why does it make you happy? Why does 3 more bottles of whiskey per month make you happy? Why does going out partying late at night, dancing with stranger make you happy? I'm not trying to be judgmental. I am just listing some possibilities of what people might be doing, and I just want you for yourself to decide why it makes you happy, and if it truly brings you happiness, then it is a necessity. Happiness is necessary. It makes us more productive, happier individual, and more of a contributor to the world around us. So I'm not asking you to undermine or compromise your happiness. However, I do want to point out to you that the American culture has really cultivated 95% of the population, which includes us, to be the consuming poor. Why do I say that? 5% of the US population control 95% of the wealth in the nation. And the rest of us, the 95% of the population, shares 5% of the assets and wealth in the nation. So think about that. Think about that asymmetry that almost doesn't feel right and it feels unjust. However, our culture and our government policy has really ingrained in us and conditioned us to believe consumption can make us happy. Buying something material, a new purse, a new pair of shoes, a new shirt, a new car can make us happy. So think about that. How long did you stay happy after you bought that $300 purse? How long did you stay happy after you bought that $100,000 race car? So perhaps you're starting to think that money can't buy you happiness. Then I agree with you. And there's a Chinese saying that says you could either be a dirt core with gold plaster, or you could be a gold core covered in dirt. What would you prefer to do? Sometimes, meaning-wise money, my daughter would say, Mommy, I wish I could have this toy. I wish I could have that. Then I sit her down and say, honey, you can have what you want. You just can't have everything you want. And you got to figure out what matters to you the most. We can't just keep on consuming and consuming when we realize that, hey, $38 a month can sponsor our kid in El Salvador. Her name is Mariela. She's 6 years old now. How can we justify buying a pair of jeans that's north of $100, which is 3 months of support for Mariela? We have to think about that. We're so blessed to be in America and be surrounded by plenty and abundance of resources. But how about the rest of the world? That's one way to look at it. And the other way to look at it is, if we continue to just buy, believing that the next purchase will bring us happiness that we've never really truly experienced, that lasted or is profound happiness with purchases, that's what the big banks want us to do. The rich people, some of them, don't want to share their wealth. They want us to stay poor. And how do we stay poor? How do they stay rich? They make the products and we consume them. So we become the consuming poor and they become the producing rich. Continue to get richer and richer, we get poorer and poorer. So next time, before you swipe your card, even though you might get 20% cash back because you were following my blog, DRY's Money, just remember, why are you making the purchase? Does it really serve a profound goal in your life? Does it really add to the quality of your life or your happiness? If not, maybe hold off. Maybe think on it for a day or two. So don't become the consuming poor, and perhaps it is better to spend less on the outside and save more to make your nest egg larger and make you have overall greater financial peace. So it's very important that we define happiness for ourselves. Don't let the pop culture do it. Don't let the subliminal messages from the advertisement do it. If you get this car, you get all these hot girls to sit around you. Don't let that happen to you. You're smarter than that. And once you realize that money doesn't buy you happiness, and that most sources of happiness, like Steve Jobs said, most sources of happiness are free. And it really just comes from us sharing our most precious resource, which is time, not money. Time with someone really special, someone precious. Once you figure that out, life can literally be rich and figuratively be rich. Put your money in the bank, pay yourself first instead of pay all of these multi-conglomerate corporations that are making you believe consumption is the only way to happiness. Quite the contrary. If we keep consuming, we will end up with an empty heart, empty bank account, empty retirement account, giant debt that we're servicing and we're paying interest towards the bank, and a whole bunch of stuff. So just some food for thoughts today. Think about what are your needs and what are your wants and what are your goals. Cut out the wants so that you can get to your goals sooner. Wouldn't it be nice that you wake up one day and you say, I don't have to go to work today. I can go to Bangladesh for 5 days. Or you can say, golly, I don't have to go to work in a year. What am I going to do? I can volunteer in some sort of worthwhile organization. That's going to happen for me in year 2023. It's a lot sooner than I imagined. A couple years ago, I didn't even know what a concept of financial independence just a year ago. If I could make progress much faster than I could imagine, so could you. All right, come back tomorrow, hanging there. Tomorrow, day 8 out of 30, we'll talk about financial literacy, which you have more and more of each day as we progress on this journey. Congratulations.